Hey everyone, and welcome back to KnightTime. This week we're finally talking UCF softball and baseball, men's and women's basketball, and of course finish off with primetime picks, which yes, I'm still leading. We have two special guests this week and it's going to be a great show. Sit back, get ready because KnightTime starts now.
Things gon' change when I really hit the field. Undefeated chance, man, you know what's the deal. Tryna find a kid, I'm in the field doing drills. Boy, you just a sucker, you ain't never keep it real. 3 rings in my hand, I'm a warrior to the max. When I hang it up, they gon' have to give me plaques. Step up in the building and I only bring the facts. When I make a highlight, they gon' replay, run it back. Okay, always locked in, now I don't got time to lax. Saying he the best, he could take a lap. Batted 1,000 when you check the stats. Boy, is you ready? You ain't gotta ask.
All right, welcome back to episode 7 of KnightTime. Let's get this thing going. She's back. We're joined by Taylor Anderson. I saw that dig about you beating me in primetime picks. You should be wearing that crown right over there, but I don't even know what to say about primetime picks at this point.
I mean, if you watched last season, guys, I did booty. Like, it was so bad. So, you know what, Camden, you're the new guy. I hate to say it, but it's your turn to take the low on primetime picks.
I'm not even that far back, so I think I can come back. It's going to depend what happens this week. But before we get into primetime picks, let's jump into some UCF baseball. And we are joined by special guest John Alfano. Welcome to KnightTime, John. It's so good to have you here.
It's so great to be here. I've been wanting to come on for a while, and I'm glad to be here again.
Good. I've wanted you on. You're kind of like the baseball guy, it sounds like. I can't wait to learn so much about this team. Let's get into it.
There's a first time for everything, and that's the first time I've been called a baseball guy.
I'm so excited to have John on. We're going to get all of the baseball scoop. And although I'm sad there's no more college football or NFL taking place, one of my favorite seasons did just start back up this weekend. College baseball. It's no surprise that SEC schools are leading in the top 10 after opening weekend, but Texas, a soon-to-be SEC, is sitting at number 1. An interesting placement for me is ECU sitting at 25 with a 1-3 record already over some undefeated teams, like our own UCF baseball team. So you guys ready to talk some UCF baseball?
I'm ready to get into it. I feel like I got some things to say.
All right. Well, UCF swept Siena, winning all 3 games this past opening weekend. They completely demolished them in offense, and I think there was like an 18-0, 16-2. And Camden, I know you're really excited to start talking about this team. Why don't you open it up?
I am. I have like a stat. If you look at the lower third, I think they scored something like 46 runs in these 3 games against this team. It was an absolute blowout while only giving up 2 runs. It was awesome to see. Hitters came out and hit, pitchers came out and pitched. That's all I got to say. John, what'd you take away from the Siena series?
Yeah, they, like you said, Camden, they absolutely dominated, and they should have. Like Siena, I hadn't even heard of them before Friday, but so it makes sense that we dominated. We outscored them 46-2. I think right now, you know, last season for UCF baseball was kind of a roller coaster, up and down, but they're definitely starting off on the right foot right now.
Absolutely. They are 4-0. Great start.
Great start. Yeah, Saturday in a 16-2 win, the Knights offense was electric after Siena crossed home plate first in the top of the first inning. But Tom Jostin hit UCF's first grand slam since Pablo Ruiz last season against Memphis. And to end the weekend strong, UCF scored 7 of the 8 innings they batted in, giving them an 18-0 win during Sunday Funday. And UCF scored 4 runs in the first innings, and it was a scoring parade from there on out. And then Tuesday night, UCF faced off in their first road game against University of North Florida. Ben Besby earned his first save of the year in the 9th inning to get the 3-2 win over the Ospreys in Jacksonville. Jeffrey Pena opened the scoring in the first with a triple, and John Jostin followed up with a single, giving UCF a 1-0 start. UNF tied up with UCF in the 5th, but in the top of the 7th, Trent Taylor was able to score during a wild pitch back home. Camden, I know you're excited to talk about this game. Take it away.
Well, yes, when I look at low-scoring games like this, I like to focus on whoever the relief pitcher is. And as you mentioned, Ben Vesby came in and got that save. That is going to be so crucial throughout the year. How the bullpen does when the pitcher comes out after 6-7 innings, whoever's going to pitch the last couple innings, that's what's going to make or break this season. John, who's the player that you think that you want to highlight for this team?
From so far in the season, the player I want to highlight, he's one of the 2 best hitters on the team, that's Ben McCabe. He's batting around 500 right now. He has 2 home runs already. He's 6 hits and 12 at-bats. He's really driving the UCF bats right now.
Absolutely right. And I think he had 4 RBIs in a game a couple days ago.
Yeah, on Sunday he did.
Good for him.
Yeah, a guy that's really sticking out to me, and he did last year as well, Trent Taylor. I feel like every wild ball that's in the middle of the field, he will come from outfield, run, catch it. There are multiple highlights from this past season or this past weekend against Siena of him just annihilating the ball, going through, slamming his face on the ground, but still being able to catch the ball every single time. And then he is so speedy. So when there are wild pitches, when he is at second and third, he's able to get home so fast. So I am very excited to see how this team does this season. They weren't amazing last season, but they were just coming off of a short season beforehand due to COVID. So with them coming back, I'm really excited to see. They do take on Ole Miss, not this week, but next weekend. And that was kind of like their big breakthrough last season. They are a very good SEC team, and they're taking them on at home. So hope to see you guys out there. I'm looking forward to it. But moving on to softball, the softball team started off very strong this season, defeating at the time number 12 ranked Georgia at home on opening day. But now they sit at 7-5 after going 2-4 in the St. Pete Clearwater Elite Invitational last weekend. Those wins, however, did come from a doubleheader rally to upset number 11 Texas and a win over Texas Tech in extra innings. UCF sits at number 24 with Coach Bear reaching 100 wins already this season. We're going to get to their game in a second against FIU, but what do you guys think about the softball team so far this season? Camden?
Well, I want to start by saying, even though the record may show 7-5, that doesn't really reflect how they've been playing. Now, they've been playing good teams. Like you said, they beat Texas, they beat Georgia. These are good quality wins. And some of their losses, I believe they lost to like Tennessee, Wisconsin, Michigan. These teams, they're not bad losses. So wait until conference play starts to really judge how this team's playing. As of right now, 7-5 is a good overall start. What do you think, John?
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. They are playing some really top-tier teams like Florida State, which kind of spanked them, but they have a win over Texas, they have a win over Georgia, and something else to consider, this team is really, really young. Like I think they only retained 4 starters in their lineup from last season, and most of the pitching staff is also new. So I'm not surprised there are a bit of growing pains right now, but like you said, Camden, once they get into conference play, I think they're going to put the rest of the American on notice.
Very true. And yeah, like you said, their losses weren't two bad teams. They were two very good teams. But they did pull off a win. Softball offense went crazy Wednesday night, an 11-0 win against FIU. Gianna Mancha tosses her second one-hitter of the season. UCF loaded the bases with 2 gone in their half of the 4th. FIU's catcher tried to throw behind the runner at second, but when the ball got away, Katie Burge scored from third, making it 4-0. For the second time in 3 games, UCF put together a 7-run inning. Our pitchers came up heavy with grand slams in Camden. I know you're excited to talk about this part of the game with the pitcher hitting a grand slam.
Hey, when I heard that this morning, that was so exciting. I love any time a pitcher hits a home run. It's so satisfying to watch, and especially a grand slam, that'll really change the momentum of a game. Anytime you win 11-0, it's obviously going to feel good after the game. I can't wait to see what the softball team has in store. It's going to be fun to watch. I get to learn a little bit of a new sport. I'm a little casual baseball fan, so this is going to be fun. John, what do you think?
Yeah, definitely Grace Jewell's grand slam yesterday was the highlight of the game easily. When's the last time you saw a pitcher hit a grand slam? I don't recall ever seeing it. And then yet another home run from Emerson Lee directly after it. So they're really picking up the offense. They should have beaten FIU badly, and they did exactly that.
Yeah, big standouts this season so far are going to be, like always, FSU, UCLA, Oklahoma, and UCF already did take the loss to FSU. But if it comes back down to the playoffs, I'm sure they will be able to take them on. I'm really excited to keep talking about UCF baseball and softball this season. I'm sure it's only going to get better from here, and we're so excited to see these teams take the diamond here at home and away. So stay tuned. We're going to come back with some basketball talk with Camden and Noah.
I'm going with Cowboys versus Giants. Why? Because I am a New York Giants fan, and I want my first pick of the week to be my team. I see an upset for the New York Giants this Sunday. Bet your entire savings, and I'm telling you right now, they're gonna win. I don't care what you say. It's gonna happen.
I have to go with the Raiders, I think, for this one. I don't see them losing.
Welcome back. It is now time for our primetime picks of the week, the best segment. I'm currently doing awful, standing at 16-10, Oklahoma State and Texas. I'm going Texas 35-27.
All right, Jeff, don't tell me your winner, but who is going to the Super Bowl?
The New England Patriots.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God.
And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
God.
The
Oh
NFL is gonna make it happen.
Hey everyone, welcome back to this next segment of Nighttime. We are joined by kind of our basketball expert at this point besides Tyler, Noah Kemper. Noah, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on the show again, and I can't wait to talk about basketball.
I think you can't wait to talk about Kansas is the thing.
Yeah.
I kind of disrespected them last time in a game against Baylor, but I will never do that again.
We are going to talk about some games that Camden was in the stands for because I think he has took the title of UCF's #1 fan. He's always there. He records his own highlights when he's there. He has a great time. So we're going to go ahead and jump into it. Last week, the men's basketball team faced off against ECU, and it ended in a buzzer beater scored by no other than Darren Green Jr. He's taken more shots than any other AAC player this season, and this one came at the exact moment they needed. Perry had 12 points, Freeman had 11, Walker had 9, and freshman Johnson had 8 with a team-high 8 rebounds. There were 14 lead changes and 10 ties in this game. Obviously came out to our favor at the end. Camden was texting me going crazy. He was like, of course, no other than this guy would be the one to pull it off. Camden, what'd you think?
I do want to clear it up. I was not at this game. I was at home. I'm sorry, UCF fans. I'm usually at every game, but this one I was not. I was out for a bike ride, screaming my head off watching this game. And when Darren Green Jr. hit that shot, I got so excited. I was jumping around my living room. I was so excited. With 2 seconds left, you had to know the ball was going to him. I thought they were going to run out of time. He got that shot up. I could have turned around like Steph Curry. I knew that thing was going in. Noah, what do you think about this ECU game? It was great.
I mean, this game it had everything that every college basketball fan, UCF college basketball fan could dream of. And it was, I mean, first of all, UCF, the ball movement was excellent as they outscored ECU 16-7 in the assists. And although UCF was favored by more to run away with this game, they did what they needed to do, got the ball into Darren Green's hands, and I mean, who else is going to hit that shot?
Exactly.
No one else.
No one
Tough
else.
shot.
And he even said that he really was just going to drive and try to shoot and foul, but he went up for it and worked out in his favor. And another time the Knights really showed out was Wednesday night for senior night. UCF showed out winning 75-61 against Cincinnati. This was UCF's 5th win in the span of 7 games and lengthened their lead over Cincy to a game and a half in the ACC for tournament seeding. Walker led with 13 points. Adams had one of his season's high. Perry and Jong had 11, and Darius Johnson led UCF with 7 rebounds and 5 assists. With a 13-point deficit, Cincy was able to cut UCF's lead to only 7 points, but the Knights were able to build back the lead to as many as 19 points. Coach Johnny Dawkins said this was UCF's most complete game yet, and he's happy to see them move in the right direction. So guys, it's the end of the season. Finally, we're moving in the right direction. Camden, what'd you think?
Hey, I hope it's not too little too late to start getting the consistency going. They have won 4 out of their last 5. My takeaway from this game was how good their transition offense was, all right? Off of their stops on the fast break, Darren Green had this great pull-up, and I'm sitting there thinking, why are you pulling up on a fast break? And then he knocked it down. I was like, that's why you're pulling up on a fast break. And I mean, just the dunks, the slams, the passes, the behind-the-back pass that Darren Green Jr. had. Oh, it was so much fun to be there for senior night. I had my crown on my head. It was great. It was my first senior night that I get to go to, and I can't wait to go to the rest. Noah, I know you were there too.
Oh, it was such a great game to be at. And, I mean, honestly, for UCF, it looked like being at the NBA All-Star game with all these dunks, all these amazing passes, these transition threes. Like, where has this UCF team been? This was by far their most complete game they've had. And, I mean, the game, you can't play much better than that. I said the only thing they needed to work on is their free throws. But other than that, this is the UCF team that we've needed and we need throughout the rest of the season.
Yeah, finally their last home game. They're pulling it together. Good job, guys. So I want to touch on some players that really stood out this game for each of us. And my player of the game goes to senior Darius Perry. He had 11 points and scored UCF's first 6 in his last home game as a Knight. He said it was one of his most fun games to play as a player. So I'm glad that happened for him as a 5th year for a senior. The seniors really did take off this game. Camden, who's yours?
I'm going to miss Scary Perry. And Noah's last point, was that the free throw shooting was not that good. That could be improved. The all-time leading scorer, or the all-time best free throw percentage, was Brandon Mahan, who was out with an ankle injury. But the guy that stepped up for him, C.J. Walker, the guy that I call the Energizer, comes in, yells, gets a couple rebounds, couple blocks, and dunks. He is so fun to watch, and I think him coming off the bench is a lot better than him starting. But hey, he filled the job well last night, and they got the win, and that's all that matters.
Noah?
Obviously, it was a team effort, but I had to go with Mbappe Jeong. This man dominated, absolutely dominated the paint, getting 11 points, 6 boards, 2 blocks. Every time a defender was driving down the paint, they were scared miserably because this man was on them all the time. I couldn't count the amount of dunks he's had, the assists leading to dunks he's had, but this was by far one of the best outings he has had.
For sure. And then, guys, it finally happened. Alex Funderburg, if you're watching, it finally happened. He texts us updates every single day with what's going on, and it's finally starting to get some build. So the women's basketball team is finally getting their recognition they deserve, and it is so long overdue. Their first ever top 25 ranking in the coaches poll, and hopefully now that they're in there, if they keep winning like they do, and they will, there's no excuse for them not to keep moving up to a top spot. They have the best scoring defense in the country, allowing opponents to just 48.5 points per game. In their last 3 games, UCF hasn't let the other team score more than 35 points. They are ranked 4th nationally in field goal percentage and 14th in steals per game. Camden, it's happening. What do you think about it?
I am so excited this happened. We've been on this train for the last 3 weeks, and Alex Funderburg spoke it right into existence. Finally, they're ranked, even though it's only in the coaches poll, and even though it's only ranked 25, which is crazy. It is something. I believe it was the first time in school history this happened, so congratulations to the Lady Knights. I'm so proud. I can't wait for this Saturday's game. I will be there. Noah, how do you feel this team's finally ranked in the coaches poll?
It is about time. We have been waiting for this. I mean, ranked 7th in the RPI poll, like, come on. Where's UCF's credit? But, I mean, finally, they're starting to look at us, recognize the dominance that these ladies have been throughout this entire season, and I mean, this should give them a huge confidence boost to just keep going, keep winning, and see where we can end at the end of the season.
Yeah, all Alex had to do was come on nighttime and they come and get ranked. He just had to speak it into existence on here. And they came out on top again Saturday afternoon, winning 68-31 against Temple. They held Temple to a season low 31 points with a 23.1 field goal percentage. UCF scored 20 points in 3 quarters from shooting, 45 from the field. And in the final 10 minutes, they outscored Temple 20-8. 3 Knights scored double figures, and we'll get to each one of them and our players of the game in just a second. Camden, what do you think about this game?
The numbers are not lying. Look at the screen. Listen to what she just said. Below 35 points in 3 games. That is hard to do. They held this team to 31 points. The defense is playing insane. They're blowing these teams out of the water. They should definitely be ranked higher, but hey, it is a good start. What a great performance. I'm so proud of this team so far. Noah, what about you?
I mean, 68-31. I mean, I feel like we almost need a mercy rule at this point.
That's over double.
Like, that is absolutely insane. These ladies need to be recognized more, and wins like that definitely are going to make it happen.
Very true. And I know we got to get to each of our players, so my player of the game is going to Maseni Kaba. She extended her double-digit scoring streak to 8 with 11 points this game. She also had 4 blocks. I think this is the first time I'm not saying Diamond Battles, so I'm excited to give it to someone else. Camden, who are you going with?
That's right. I'm going to steal Alex's player from last week, Brittany Smith. Like Alex said, she's a bucket when she wants to be. Hit on 7 of her field goals. Very efficient from the field. She scored 14 points, and coming off the bench, even though she plays some more minutes than some of the other girls on that team, I still think that she's going to be a key coming into the late and like the conference tournaments and into March Madness. She's going to be a little bit of a wild card, a little bit of a key to win some of these games. Noah, what about you?
I'm going to go with another Knight coming off the bench, Alicia Lewis.
There you go.
Who dropped 12 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, doing it all, not to mention shooting 4 for 5 for threes. I mean, it doesn't get more efficient than that. She was also an absolute bucket. Whenever they needed her, she was there, looking like Steph Curry in that game. And if they can keep shooting like this will be a deep run in the tournament.
Team's going to be dangerous. I can't wait.
A little update on our primetime picks before we end this segment and go into some new primetime picks this week. I know you don't really want to talk about it. I want to talk about it. I went 5-1 last week. The only game I lost was UConn and Villanova. I think the score is 69-71.
Which it ended on kind of a fluke, by the way.
It did.
Because there was a weird charge at the end, but hey, we're not going to argue a call.
Realistically, I can't go 6-0. It's just not a factor for me. But Camden, what happened?
Well, that was my method. Last week, roll the tape. I said she can't go 6-0, so I'm going to pick against her on one game. I'm going to work my way back one game at a time. And I picked Michigan State to beat Illinois. And of course, Michigan State loses. They had a chance to come back. They just needed one stop. And then whoever on Illinois hit a great three. Kofi Coburn had 27 points. I mean, he went off. I can't believe that I had to pick this team. I should have just rode with Grant Wheeler and chose UConn. Noah, do you have any thoughts about this game?
I mean, that game, like you said, it did end on a weird fluke, and it would have been nice to see if that game went into overtime, but I am also very excited to be on Primetime's picks this week, and hopefully I could follow up a 5-1 performance.
Yeah, I'm hopefully that I can get a game back on her. We'll see what goes on. I don't even know what to say here. I can't win Primetime picks at all.
It's going to be interesting to see, but we have a little bet that we talked about kind of before the show started up today. So stay tuned to see who, gets to lead this show this week with a special little object and who's going to end up winning it at the end of the season. So stay tuned. Primetime picks are coming right up.
It keeps coming back. We're going to need to go away.
Welcome to the HTF Hot Wings Challenge. One of you guys actually do hot sauce like regularly?
No. It's like the least black thing I do.
Oh, wow, okay.
I say Johnny goes first on this one.
I agree.
Now the Buccaneers are going to play the Washington football team.
That can't happen.
It will happen.
I'm terrified.
No, I really hate it.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes. No. You're wrong. If it wasn't for Kanye jumping up on stage and doing that, I'm gonna let you finish, but no one would know what it was with.
Nitro's dump truck. And if you don't know what I'm talking about,
Why is Nitro thick?
I don't know how many squats I need to do to get up like something like that, but I will do it.
Oh! Oh my God!
Baseball, obvious reasons. Babe Ruth, if you want to go currently. I feel like that's just like a thing.
he jumped off the wall to catch the home run. We made it through all the way to the end. Thank you for joining us.
I'm never doing this again.
One, I got it.
It was rough.
All right, welcome back to segment 3, which is our primetime picks, my least favorite segment now. Taylor, I'm just going to throw it over to you. I don't even want to talk.
So this is Camden's special crown that he got last night at senior night, and we kind of decided that whoever's leading in primetime picks each week gets to wear it for this segment, and whoever ends up winning at the end of the season gets to keep it. How cute.
Yeah, it's probably not going to be me. I'm hoping I can win this thing back. I think I got a chance this week to steal a game on you. I don't even know.
Yeah, no, are you excited to get into some primetime picks?
No, because I already know the first game. I swear, you're doing this on purpose.
I am. I got to do what I got to do, guys. Okay, so I'm going to go with Illinois and this Big Ten matchup with Illinois and Ohio State. Sorry. I think that Illinois being at home, it'll give them the advantage. Illinois is better in Big Ten matchups than Ohio State, so I think they'll have the edge on a close one. Noah, who do you think in this game?
I also got to go for Illinois as we've seen Ohio State has struggled recently with losses against unranked Rutgers, against unranked Iowa, and I feel like they're still trying to find their footing in this game, and I feel like Illinois is going to just take advantage of that as they have been red hot lately, so I got to go Illinois.
You know what? I've watched this team play their last couple games. Lost to Rutgers, that was a close one, but Rutgers has been playing a lot better. The loss to Iowa, that game was just disappointing. And then barely an overtime win over Indiana. They pulled away a little bit. I'm waiting for that game where they can just prove that they are like good enough to beat this team. But you know what? If I wait too long, I might miss it. I'm going Ohio State in this game over Illinois. Please don't let me down again.
Let him down again.
They're gonna.
All right, so in this SEC matchup of Auburn and Tennessee, I'm going to go with the Tigers. They are at Tennessee, but I think that their upset loss against Florida, they won't fall to another SEC school like that so soon. I think that Auburn will be able to come out on top. Camden?
I'm also going to go at the Auburn Tigers. You don't lose to an unranked Florida and then come right back and lose again. Also, I believe this game was only a 1-point loss. Their last two losses have both been very close to these SEC teams, one to Arkansas, one to Florida. They are a good team, all right? Don't get it fooled. They are legit. They're going to win this game against Tennessee. Noah, I know you want to disagree.
I have to go for the upset and pick the Tennessee Volunteers. I've seen Auburn's games. They have 5 games this season where they've won by 4 or less points, and like they showed against Florida, they let it slip away and they lost the game. And I honestly see that happening down the stretch against Tennessee. Tennessee's going to pull away, and they're going to pull off the upset to give both of you losses in that primetime pick.
Noah, let me ask you this real quick. Does it matter how many points you win a game by? If you're not betting on it, what does it matter? If they went undefeated and won every single game by 1 point, what does that matter? They're undefeated, all right? This is a good team. How can you say they're not going to beat Tennessee?
I'm sorry, but was that loss to Florida? Was that 1 point? But they still lost, so I think that one mattered.
You're right. A loss is a loss. They should have pulled away on this team. But, hey, I got Auburn. No way.
All right, so 2 of our probably most talked about teams this season face off Saturday night. Noah, Baylor, and Kansas. When they played in early February, Kansas won 83-59, and I think that Kansas will be able to come out on top again. But this is most definitely my most up-in-the-air pick. Noah, I know you can't go against Kansas. Who are you going with?
I got to go for my Jayhawks. I mean, after an 83-59 blowout, I do expect a closer game this time around. But without hesitation, I am putting my money, my life savings on the Kansas Jayhawks, because if there is an open shot, fate of the game on the line, I got to pick Ochai Agbaji, because that man is by far going to be the Big 12 Player of the Year, and I want the ball in his hands, and Kansas will beat Baylor once again in Baylor and take the Big 12 title.
Yeah, that guy is legit. I do want to say you might have just messed up there. You used the old Johan tradition, bet your life savings on that. I think he's 0 forever on all those picks that he said that on. So am I when I use that. Also, is it a lot easier to pick your home team when you know they're really good? You know, that's why it's tough for me to pick Ohio State. I'm also going with Kansas. Second time around, this game should be closer, but I can't go up against Kansas.
I love that both of you have learned your lesson after picking against Kansas last time.
I'm so sorry, Noah.
All right, Tuesday night, Purdue and Wisconsin will face off, and I'm going to go with Purdue. Wisconsin did win when they played earlier in January, so that helps me lean more towards the Boilermakers. Purdue have been unstoppable since that game, so give me Purdue. Camden?
All right, let's disagree. Let's do it again. I have a chance to be down by 1 or down by 5. I'm going big or going home. I'm going with UW, going back to my hometown, because my mom would be so mad at me if I don't pick Wisconsin. I got the Badgers. They're a good team. They just squeaked one out against Minnesota. Sorry, Cameron, if you're listening. I'm going with Wisconsin. What about you, Noah?
You know, Wisconsin has looked great lately. The leading scorer, Johnny Davis, has looked good, but I gotta go with the red-hot Boilermakers and Purdue, winning 9 out of their last 10 games. This team has looked unstoppable. Looks like a Final Four team this year, so I can't pick against them when they are red-hot. Gotta go with the Boilermakers.
All right, another team that's red-hot, our own UCF, with UCF and Tulane facing off. I'm going to go with UCF because we have Nitro here.
Nitro.
Look at him. He's going with UCF. Let's go Knights. Go Knights. Charge on against Tulane. UCF taking the dub? Taking the dub. Let's go UCF. Noah, what do you think?
I also have to go with UCF against Tulane on this one. UCF, like you said, has been red hot. Won 4 out of their past 5 games. And if they can keep the ball movement, the passes going around like they did against Cincinnati and really just take over this game, dominate in the paint, I think they will beat this Tulane team. And like I said earlier, if they just got to knock down their free throws because it might come down to the wire.
Nitro, get over here real quick. Get over here. What would it take for me to take Tulane in this game? What if I did that? Oh, you know I can't do that. I'm going with the Knights to win one of their final games. Give me UCF. We're taking this thing home. Go Knights, charge on.
All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in to Nighttime this week. We are so excited to have our own Nitro here, and he's going to give UCF the special luck that we need for softball, for baseball, for women's basketball, and men's basketball. We're taking it all. So stay tuned for next week when I'm going to wear the crown again. Maybe Nitro will wear it. Who knows? But thank you guys for staying tuned, and come back next week.
What just happened?
Bro, what just?
That was so.
When I really hit the field. Undefeated champs, man, you know what's the deal. Tryna find a kid, I'm in the field doing drills. Boy, you just a sucker, you ain't never keep it real. 3 rings in my hand, I'm a warrior to the max. When I hang it up, they gon' have to give me plaques. Step up in the building and I only bring the facts. When I make a highlight, they gon' replay, run it back. Okay, always locked in, now I don't got time to lax. Saying he the best, he could take a lap. Batted 1,000 when you check the stats. Boy, is you ready? You ain't gotta ask.